Reading general strategies for reading. Reading skill 1. Answer the main idea questions correctly. Almost every reading passage on the paper TOEFL test or computer TOEFL test will have a multiple choice question about the main idea of the passage. These questions are all really asking what primary point the author is trying to get across in the passage. If a passage consists of only one paragraph, you should study the beginning of that paragraph to determine the main idea. Look the example from the paper TOEFL test the passage. How do you answer reading passages? Strategies for answering reading questions. Identifying the main idea of a passage. Reading a passage for specific details. Identifying the author's purpose. Making inferences from a passage. This question asks about the topic of the passage. Because this passage has only one paragraph, you should look at the first sentence of the passage to answer this question. The first sentence of this passage discusses a distinction between the ideas of intelligence and reasoning in the philosophy of John Dewey, so this is probably the topic. Example: nitrogen fixation is a process by which nitrogen is continuously fed into biological circulation. In this process, certain algae and bacteria convert nitrogen into ammonia, NH3. This newly created ammonia is then for the most part absorbed by plants. The opposite process of denitrification returns nitrogen to the air. During the process of denitrification, bacteria cause some of the nitrates from the soil to convert into gaseous nitrogen or nitrous oxide, N2O. In this gaseous form, the nitrogen returns to the atmosphere. Which of the following would be the best title for this passage? A. The process of nitrogen fixation. B. Two nitrogen processes. C. The return of nitrogen to the air. D. The effect of nitrogen on plant life. Example passage 3, questions 5 to 6. Hurricanes generally occur in the North Atlantic from May through November, with the peak of the hurricane season in September. Only rarely will they occur from December through April in that part of the ocean. The main reason for the occurrence of hurricanes during this period is that the temperature on the water's surface is at its warmest and the humidity of the air is at its highest. Of the tropical storms that occur each year in the North Atlantic, only about 5, on the average, are powerful enough to be called hurricanes. To be classified as a hurricane, a tropical storm must have winds reaching speeds of at least 117 kilometers per hour. But the winds are often much stronger than that. The winds of intense hurricanes can easily surpass 240 kilometers per hour. Answers: 5. The passage mainly discusses ABCD 6. The best title for this passage would be ABCD. Reading skill 2. Recognize the organization of ideas. Organization is the way sentences are structured and ordered to create a unified and cohesive body of text. In the reading section, there may be questions about the organization of ideas in a passage. You may be asked to determine how the ideas in one paragraph, or paragraphs, relate to the ideas in another paragraph, paragraphs. You may also see a question that asks you to click in the paragraph in a passage that contains certain ideas. Example: where to find the answer? If I asked who invented the game of baseball, most Americans would probably reply that it was their belief that Abner Doubleday did. They believe this because the story about Doubleday is part of the tradition of baseball. Doubleday was given credit for this invention early in the 20th century when sporting goods manufacturer Spalding inaugurated a commission to research the question of who invented baseball. In 1908, a report was published by the commission, in which Abner Doubleday, a U.S. Army officer from Cooperstown, New York, was given credit for the invention of the game. The National Baseball Hall of Fame was established in Cooperstown in honor of Doubleday. Today, most sports historians are in agreement that Doubleday really did not have much to do with the development of baseball. Instead, baseball seems to be a close relative of the English game of rounders and probably has English rather than Americans' roots. Tips to recognize how to find specific information in the reading passage, especially main ideas more over main topic. Identify the answer. How is the information in the passage organized? How is the information in the second paragraph related to the information in the first paragraph? Answer the question. Read the first or the last line of each paragraph. Determine the type of paragraph. Is it deductive, inductive, or mixed type? Eliminate answer choices that are too general, too specific, or not related at all to the topic of reading. Do not be too long reading the passage. Where is the answer? The answer to this type of question can generally be determined by looking at the first sentence of the appropriate paragraphs. Identify the question. Please find out how the information in the passage is organized. Please find out how the information in the second paragraph is related to the first paragraph. How to find a main idea. 1. Read the title. What is the text about? What is the topic? 2. Look for and carefully read the text features. Is the text fiction? Non-fiction? Look for information, words, and pictures that are repeated throughout the text. 3. Think about the most important point of the topic. What details or examples back up and support the main idea? Reading skill 3. Answer stated detail questions correctly. A stated detail question asks about one piece of information in the passage rather than the passage as a whole. The answers to these questions are generally given in order in the passage, and the correct answer is often a restatement of what is given in the passage. This means that the correct answer often expresses the same idea as what is written in the passage, but the words are not exactly the same. A stated detail question asks about one piece of information in the passage rather than the passage as a whole. The answers to these questions are generally given in order in the passage, and the correct answer is often a restatement of what is given in the passage. This means that the correct answer often expresses the same idea as what is written in the passage, but the words are not exactly the same. If there are stated detail questions, students should identify those. How to identify the question? According to the passage, it is stated in the passage. The passage indicates that. Which of the following is true? How to find the answer? The answer to these questions are found in order in the passage. Example. Where to find the answer? The answers to these questions can be found in each passage. Look at the example and read the passage. Williamsburg is a historic city in Virginia that was settled by English colonists in 1633, 26 years after the first permanent English colony in America was settled at Jamestown. In the beginning, the colony at Williamsburg, 5, was named Middle Plantation because of its location in the middle of a peninsula between two rivers, the York and the James. The site of Williamsburg had been selected by the colonists because the soil drainage was better there than at the Jamestown location, and there were fewer mosquitoes. Look and choose the best answer to the question. The passage indicates that Jamestown, A, was settled in 1633. B, was settled 26 years after Williamsburg. C was the permanent English colony in America. D was originally named Middle Plantation. Correct answer. C was the first permanent English colony in America. Explanation. The passage states that Williamsburg was settled by English colonists in 1633, 26 years after the first permanent English colony in America was settled at Jamestown. This indicates that Jamestown was the first permanent English colony in America. In this skill, the detail questions ask the reader to recall specific information such as anecdotes, cited evidence, data, or descriptions used to support the main idea of the passage. The answer to these questions, how to identify the question, where to find the answer, how to answer, are generally given in order in the passage, and the correct answer is often a restatement of what is given in the passage. So, what do you think test makers would do to make these questions challenging? Are you be able to answer questions related to passage? Can you do so? Let's move forward to find the next skills.